Welcome to the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Brought to you in part by Master Networks Wylie and powered by the Difference Media LLC.
Today's show is hosted by Brian Poduska, entrepreneur and owner of Real Property Management Focus, and co-hosted by Allison Wilson with Community Wealth Advisors and Caitlyn with Elite Diamond Cleaning.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our co-host and their guests share thoughts and insights about being a professional and the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in a very special way. Because the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie starts now.
Well, good morning, everyone. You are watching the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie show. I am your host, Brian Poduska, for the day. I'm the owner of Real Property Management Focus in Frisco, where we focus on your real estate investments. And I'm really excited to be here today and be part of this show. We have I think we're on episode 8 now, if I've been doing my math correctly. And every previous show has been a bigger and better learning experience. So I'm looking to build off of that today. And meet 2 more guests. What I can tell you is everybody I've met from the Wylie Master Networks chapter, who, they are all part of the show and co-hosts within the show, has been fantastic. And they've had just knock 'em out guests. So I'm looking forward to not only meeting those 2 members of the Wylie Master Networks chapter, but also their guests today.
Hey, Brian,
yes,
real quick, I do want to say that you're right. This is our 8th show, the final show of this month. It's funny because this is our first month, but it seems like everybody's been doing this forever. I mean, they've been that good.
Yes.
And they've had that good of guests. I mean, the vision that you and Nathan and I have had, they basically have been the poster child of how to run this thing and how to do it well. And because of that, we've already had, I think, again, this is the first month. People are just now really knowing about it, but we've already had over 13,000 viewers on the past 7 shows.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And what I was going to say too is, I'm excited not only about this show, because you're exactly right. The way that it's been run so far, and also just the enthusiasm that this group has brought to it has been fantastic. And I know we had yesterday the second version of the Pod Connect. So I'm just really excited about all the things going on with the difference, whether it's the community shows or the Pod Connect efforts that we've got going on. So, that's super exciting for me as being part of the ground up sort of situation with the difference. Been here for 3.5 years, I guess, going on 4, and to see where we've come from and to where we're at now and where we're evolving to, it's really exciting. So
it's exciting. It's exciting because I think we're all finally starting to understand what it is we're supposed to be doing, and I don't mean from the technical side. This has been an evolving process, and I think that we've really figured out how to make the difference in the ways that we wanted to in the beginning, but we really didn't understand how this was all going to work out. I mean, I don't know if you got the email yesterday or not, but we now have come to an agreement, and we're going to be starting a new show in Denton that's coming up very, very soon. And, Rowlett has approached us. We're working with Rockwall, McKinney. Obviously, you do one in Frisco. So this is really cool. People are starting to pay attention, which is good for the show, the co-hosts, the advertisers, everybody. But it's also so good for the community because now the community can actually have something specific to them that can get a little bit more in depth about what's going on and who all is involved in what's going on in the community.
Yeah, and I love that aspect of it too, because it does bring in so many more. We started on very topic-specific things when we launched the difference, and now it's blown into what's going on in the community. Tell us about the community. Introduce us to local business owners. So it's really expanded, and I'm excited about being part of it. So Yeah, so why don't we start? Why don't we get this show going and bring in our co-hosts, and let's meet them. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Good to see you today. So, thanks for being part of the show. Really excited to meet you guys. I didn't get a chance backstage to do that as much as I typically would. So goes the life of real estate right now. So many things. So look forward to learning more about you ladies, and especially your guests as well. But what I'd ask you to do is if you could just introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what you do, and kind of give us the 30-second elevator speed, if you will, and then we'll go on from there. Allison, why don't you go first?
Good. Well, hi, Brian. It's nice to get my turn to be on the podcast today. Again, my name's Allison Wilson. I am a financial advisor in Wylie, in historic downtown Wylie is where my office is located. We're community wealth advisors, and we're an independent family-owned firm with Raymond James. I work with my father-in-law and just have enjoyed establishing our branch here in Wylie. We opened our doors about 3 years ago, but I've been a Wylie resident for over 20 years and love this community and love the new facet that it's added to not only be a community member and involved in school and church and all of those things, but now on the business side of it.
That's awesome. Cool. Thank you so much on that. Caitlyn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll circle back.
Hi, my name is Caitlyn Fiesel. I'm the owner of Elite Diamond Cleaning. We do residential, commercial, and construction cleaning. I love the Wylie area. I go to church in Wylie, and my network and my group is Wylie. Where my home is Wylie. I don't physically live in Wylie. I wish I could. Maybe one day we'll get there. But I love it. We do everything in Wylie. If you want to know where I am, that's where I am. And so we love the group, and I love getting to build my business and service those in the Wylie area and surrounding. But it's just a great place to be and serve the community. So, yeah.
Awesome. And I think if I saw a post yesterday, did you not just clean the Connolly's home, maybe?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, I think I saw that post yesterday, and everything looked fantastic. I love that home because I helped them buy it. So.
She's cheerleader, so I love her encouragement and sharing with everyone. So they're amazing.
Yes.
And also Jenny is so authentic. Her joy that she felt at that clean house, like that is all real too. Man, she was thrilled.
Well, I got to jump in on that real quick because Caitlyn and I had met for a face-to-face a few weeks ago, and I had to do something really cool for my wife because I was kind of in the doghouse. So Caitlyn came and bailed me out, and I'm telling you what, my wife was so happy, still happy, and this will be a regular for us for sure.
Awesome.
Plus, Caitlyn is now one of the station sponsors. Elite Diamond Cleaning is one of the station sponsors, so we're happy to have them.
Yeah,
That's awesome. And Landon, I remember you letting us know exactly how happy your wife was when you arranged for that situation to be taken care of. So
heck yeah, I finally did something
bringing
right.
Joy everywhere. Love it. Well, why don't we do this? Because we're gonna take a really quick commercial break, Lennon, if you're ready for it. But on the back end, what I want to do and what we've done in the last several shows, we have a segment called "What's Up, Wylie." We modified it a little bit to be a little bit different location, but let's do a "What's Up Wylie" segment after this commercial break. Lennon, go ahead and hit it, and we'll hit that in the back end.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Marley Knapp with Norwex. Chemical-free sustainable solutions for your home. Dallas Jones with Rementis.
Bringing your technology and memories back to life.
Melissa Berry with Lawyer's Title. Melissa Mancini, owner of Melissa Mancini Photography. Don't let your babies grow up to be JPEGs. And by Terra Padilla with Texan Window Cleaning. Don't let dirty windows be your pane in the glass. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
Okay, I just have to comment every time I hear those taglines. It cracks me up. Absolutely. All right, so let's move on to our What's Up Wylie section. So I think you guys have been prepped a little bit on this, but basically what we're trying to do is get up or get notification or spotlights on whatever's happening in Wylie that you guys are either part of or that know that's coming up. So why don't you guys go ahead and let us know what's up Wylie, what's going on?
Yeah. Caitlyn, go with your event first, because I actually made a list. There's a lot going on.
Okay, so mine, Allison will cover the rest. She's fantastic. But mine this weekend, our church at Summit Church, we're behind the Kroger and B&B Theater in Wylie. We're doing an Imperfect Parenting Conference. And this is super awesome because our speakers are actually from California. They're coming in specifically to just share and love on us. Brittany Serple just released a book called Imperfect Parenting, and it is amazing. If you need some like relationship advice, especially with your kids, you need some information and know kind of some key pieces on how to parent. Obviously, parenting is imperfect, but we get to love on our kids in the best way possible. This is a great way to come. So it's going to be from 10 to 5 on Saturday. There will be a lunch break, but you can come. You can register at the door, no problem. And if you're busy Saturday, then come join us Sunday at 10. Our service is at 10, and they're going to be our speakers again and just get to hear a word about how to love on your kids and be a great parent in this imperfect world we get to love. So.
Wow, that's great. I love that. I love the title of it too, because none of us should be, none of us are going to achieve perfection in that area for sure. We all need some help, right?
Exactly.
Well, okay, Brian, I made a big list. I like to be busy, and I like to, kind of know all of the things going on. Mm-hmm. No, thank you. Sorry, little interruption there. But here we go. Okay, this is something that I stumbled upon. Fuel City, that's new to Wylie. They're having a grand opening. You can go get like dollar tacos and all their fun drinks and everything. If you've never been to Fuel City, which I hadn't been until just a couple weeks ago, I like to eat tacos, so I would totally check that out. We've got a lot of other like cool community-wide events though. We have our Salute to Heroes, which is put on by our VFW chapter. That's going to be on Memorial Day down in Old City Park in Wylie. And some other things that are going on here tonight at 501. I love that it's the 501 mixer. The Wylie Chamber hosts a business networking mixer every fourth Thursday of the month. And the locations, they rotate. And it's a tri-chamber effort between Wylie, Saxe, and Murphy, kind of the triplets, we like to call it, right? And but today it's in Wylie at 501. You can go to Fish and Tales right on 78, meet with other business owners, and just have a good time. So that's a couple of the items that are like really coming up very quickly. In addition to that, I hope I have time to just let folks know that there's a lot of vacation Bible school opportunities in the summer, and it's not too late to sign up for those. So, you can Google those. I know that the one at my church, I attend at the Cross Church, and ours is June 5th through 8th. Great opportunity there. And one of the previous guests that was on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, Nichelle, that has a nonprofit group for women, the Connect Women group. They are going to be having a really cool fundraiser event that involves cornhole, which apparently is like the new hot thing all the time, right? And you got a little bit of time to plan for that. It's on a Sunday afternoon, June 25th. Their location's in Rockwall. And so I think it's really fun when we can kind of also, we love Wylie, we love this area here, but we can also take some of our spirit and go and check out another neighboring community. So those are several things going on. My window in my office, I always try to keep up all posters and things there, and they've always got neat QR codes now. So if you need anything, somebody could shoot me an email and I could get them the information if they need details.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. So there's another theme that's coming out over the last several shows that we've done is cornhole. Cornhole's like...
I thought you were going to say tacos.
Well,
let's have a theme of tacos.
I mean...
I've been to Fuel City. I've had Fuel City tacos, and I love them. They're amazing.
Right. But cornhole, I mean, I think it's just such a good social event. The Chamber's also having a cornhole tournament, and I'm pretty sure that was something that was mentioned last week on a podcast last week. And it's so fun. You don't have to play. You can go and enjoy it. You can play. You don't have to be an expert. But I do know that there are some people that are really good at cornhole, so it's kind of fun to watch that too.
Yeah, I learned a new word on the last show that we did, a cornament. So a cornhole tournament. You combine the two words, there you go. So, no, that's awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that. So that's another thing I love about your guys' group is that every one of you guys have brought all kinds of great events to the forefront in the show. And you guys are so involved in the community, and I think that's just awesome. So thank you for sharing that, both of you. Appreciate it. All right, so that is our What's Up Wylie section, and we were focused on Wylie this week, so that's great. What I'd like to do next is, what we're all here for really is to give a little bit about ourselves, but really give back to the business community and shine that spotlight on other business owners in the area, other referral partners that you may have, and you guys have lined up a couple guests today. So what I'd like to do is just kind of bring them all in. And we'll go kind of around the horn and let them introduce themselves, or let you guys introduce your guests, and then let's learn a little bit more about them. And then after that, we'll have a roundtable discussion. So welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. Pleasure to have you on the show. All right, let's go with Caitlyn first. Why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest?
Okay, so my guest today is Jordan Burk. He's a great friend of mine. We've known each other for quite a long time. We met through church, and now he's a family friend, and he's at all the things. And so he is the author and illustrator of Kelly and Kelso, and now he has multiple books, and he's an amazing person. He was a caregiver for his uncle for 16 years, if I remember correctly.
14.
Okay, I was close.
You're good.
Who had Down syndrome. And if you've never been around someone with Down syndrome, there's a lot of care involved. And I got to really watch him love on his uncle. And now he's created these books and a cartoon coming very soon, Kelly and Friends. And that's just going to be an amazing opportunity for the first cartoon to have a Down syndrome character. The main character. And so it's just a really cool opportunity. So I'm excited for Jordan to get to share, because he speaks at all different schools and events. And so I want to get him plugged in the Wylie community, because I think it's really important. So.
Awesome. Well, Caitlyn, thanks for that intro. Jordan, if you'd like to go a little bit deeper,
Okay.
Now's the time.
So yes, I was a caregiver for close to 14 years. When Caitlyn said 16, I was like, how old does she think I am? But yeah, so I have a book series, Kelly and Kelso, and it's about a little boy with Down syndrome, and it's to teach kids about Down syndrome, but not just Down syndrome. It also teaches kids how to be kind and empathetic. And then we just now started introducing new characters into the story, so kids can learn about vitiligo or alopecia. And our goal with our show, which right now we're in the process of looking for, investors and people that want to help with endorsements and partnerships. But our goal with our show is to be able to introduce kids that are, either in the foster care system or have gone through adoption, or, maybe English is a second language. And so kids that your child would come across on a playground, Chuck E. Cheese, the mall, just in everyday life, school, and when they come across these kids, it won't seem so taboo or different or scary, if we can teach them about all these different amazing people in such a fun and colorful way. Because I'm a strong believer that it's hard for kids to embrace someone that's different if they don't know why they're different. Mm-hmm. And so if we can teach them that, and again, not trying to do something that's super educational and boring. We got fun music. We have like silly characters, and we have a koala and an alligator. And so we try to do it in such a fun way that kids don't really feel like they're learning. And so we try to go into schools, hospitals. We've had pop-up shops and events. And that's been a lot of fun for me to get to know people in our community, especially through the pop-up shops. So
that's really neat and really unique, a unique program, I guess, or what your agenda is very unique. Because we've done some things through the difference. It was on the Frisco show, as a matter of fact. We had a group, the Frisco Leadership Frisco group came. Several members joined the show, and their fundraiser as part of their project was to help folks with disabilities after they get through the high school and educational system, because there's really not a whole lot of outlets for folks that have special needs. So this different angle, but it's really kind of looking at, okay, how do we educate the younger? If I'm understanding what you guys are doing, you know, what your agenda is, how do we educate and just bring awareness to the younger ages, that's really unique. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, a kid that grows up to be intolerant of others grows up to be an adult that's intolerant of others. You know, so we're trying to talk to this next generation because they're going to be the ones that grow up and they do all the voting. They make all the big decisions eventually. So if we can get hold of them at, you know, an early age and teach them love and empathy and kindness, then I feel like it's really going to make a difference.
I love that. That's awesome. So thanks for sharing a little bit deeper on that, Jordan. All right, Allison, why don't you introduce your guest, and then we'll go a little bit deeper there.
Absolutely. I was so excited to invite Melissa Irvin to be my guest, and very excited when she agreed. I think Melissa is such a neat member of our community. She is a business owner. She owns BlueBox Digital, and I will let her tell you about all the different things that she does through that business. I originally met her through the Wylie Chamber, I think. I don't, honestly, I'm not sure where I originally met her because our paths kind of crossed quite a bit. But she does a lot. She has a lot of involvement with the Wylie Chamber, and is an expert in all the things that they do, and helps with their advertising. And so that's a neat connection that we have there. And then we both have children that really like theater. And Melissa is an integral part of the Wylie Acting Group, which I'll let her give you all the specifics, but you've probably heard of WAG. And so that's a nonprofit group in town that helps children who want to be involved in theater. And I just think that's so neat. There's a need for businesses to support organizations like that. And so this is just one opportunity. And I thought it would be neat to kind of hear Melissa's perspective as a business owner and someone highly involved in a nonprofit that kind of relies a lot on the businesses in town to do those productions, and in turn impacts kids in our community. And so that's my thumbnail about Melissa, but I'll let her go a little deeper.
Thank you, Allison. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. My business is BlueBox Digital Agency. Real quick, I do digital marketing. So I specialize in helping small businesses generate online traffic and leads to their website. And I cover everything from website design, search engine optimization, email list building, your social media presence, all of that fun stuff, so that you continually have a pipeline of online traffic and hopefully well-qualified leads with that. So you can find me at blueboxdigital.com, and I'd love to chat with you if you need help with any of that. One of the other hats that I wear, I'll just go through all three of them because there's the three major ones. I am very involved in the Wylie Chamber of Commerce. Actually, they have been an integral part in my business, both in Wylie Acting Group and BlueBox Digital. Anyway, I do the ad sales for the Connection magazine, which is a publication that the Wylie Chamber publishes every other month, which is a cool thing in our area because it helps advertise our businesses, communicates with our community as to what's going on in the area, and then circles back around and helping support the chamber so that we can keep doing both of those things, supporting businesses and the community as well. And then Wylie Acting Group, yeah, definitely a labor of love, and feels a huge place in my heart. Wylie Acting Group is 100% community theater. And what does that 100% mean? It means there is no one that is paid at Wylie Acting Group. It is 100% volunteer run. So every show you see, every director, every production person, everyone there that participates really does everything and does it just for the love of the art. We started back in 2009, and the focus was a children's theater, and since then we have grown into doing adult shows as well, because we found the adults in our community that were participating and helping to love on the kids and train them and support them through the arts also wanted to be on stage as well and support from that angle too. So we branched out and started doing adult shows. So it's really a well-rounded, our mission is to educate and enrich the lives of children and families in our community through the magic of theater. So yeah, that's mostly that's the three big hats that I wear. And then on behalf of Wylie Acting Group, I'm on the board of directors and I serve as the marketing chair for that organization.
Wow, that's a lot to wear those all those hats.
You can see why our circles like crisscross a lot.
Yes, indeed. Well, part of so what we've done in the month of May, we have a business topic that we've kind of covered with other co-hosts and guests, and this kind of dovetails nicely into that roundtable discussion. So our business topic of the month is the importance of community engagement, in small business or whatever, whatever the aspect of your community involvement is. So what I'd like to do is we'll get into that topic on the back end of the commercial break. We do have to run a commercial right now. Share some love with our sponsors, and on the back end we'll start that conversation and get a little bit more into the community involvement. So with that, hit it, Lennon.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by One Payon and JP Direct Health, providing affordable health insurance solutions as a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Allison Wilson and Community Wealth Advisors, Life Well Planned. Angela Tucker with Coldwell Banker Apex. Here to help you discover your real estate dreams and build wealth through all stages of life. Dr. Chelsea Nutt with Retrouve Wellness. Feel it to heal it. And by Cordell Reynolds with New Res Mortgage. Your mortgage journey starts right now. The Difference Media LLC is made possible by the following partners and sponsors.
Do you want your home or office to sparkle? Then call Elite Diamond Cleaning today. From basic cleaning to deep cleaning, and using only the highest quality cleaning products and equipment, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Our team of experienced cleaners will work quickly and efficiently to clean every nook and cranny, taking care of all the details so you don't have to. With a variety of pricing options to fit any budget, discounts for seniors, military personnel, and students, you can be sure that you are getting the best possible price. Call Elite Diamond Cleaning today at 214-300-9876 to schedule a free estimate. Your home and office is a diamond, let us get it out of the dust. Do you love the great outdoors, but hate tent camping? Well, then you need to check out North Texas Glamping Adventures. We offer a one-of-a-kind glamping experience. Our 2021 32-foot travel trailer that sleeps 5 is fully furnished and equipped with all the luxuries of home, including everything you need for a comfortable stay, including linens, towels, a kitchenette, and a private bathroom. Even lanterns, an outdoor cook stove, and chairs. But the best part is, we will even deliver and set up your travel trailer for you within 75 miles of Wylie, Texas. So all you have to do is show up and enjoy your outdoor adventure. So if you have been dreaming about a weekend at the lake or campground, then click the link in the description or give us a call at 214-883-1294. So what are you waiting for? Book your stay at North Texas Glamping Adventures through OutdoorsE.com today.
In your car, at work, at home, and through your ear pods.
That's why I listen.
2940 The Difference. On air everywhere.
The Difference, its show's host and co-host would like to thank all of our sponsors, because together, we can all make the difference. To learn more about our sponsors, go to our website, www.thedifferenceradio.com. And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back, and thank you to all our sponsors. I always want to go glamping after I see that last ad, and also that the little plug on the radio station. If you haven't tuned in, certainly tune in, because there's some great content on there. Not only does it play our shows and you get to meet some folks through the radio show, but there's some really eclectic music mixes that are on that show. If you want to hear a very eclectic mix, tune in at 5 a.m., which is my playlist time. It gets me fired up every time I work out in the morning. I turn on my playlist.
Yeah, we'll have Caitlyn's on there soon, so we'll get to see what kind of music she likes and listens to.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much, but I have quite a few different genres that I go across.
Fantastic.
That's cool. That's what my kids made me for Mother's Day, was they made a playlist for me. And so I love that, kind of getting to feel everybody's personality that way.
Yes, indeed. It's a cool way to, at least express what your musical interests or what gets you going is. So I love the fact that that's available. So tune into the radio show. But back to the topic at hand that we want to discuss in the month of May. And I love hearing, I've loved hearing the last 3 weeks that we've done the show, how people are getting involved in the community. So I guess that'll be the first question that I'll throw out to the group is whether you're a small business owner or in the case of creating a show, what are your guys' ways to get involved in the community, from a business or a personal standpoint? And I'll throw it out. Jordan, I want to hear, since you're a very unique, your project is very unique. So I do want to hear how you guys are doing that. So if you wouldn't mind, I'll ask you to go first.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, I try to get connected and plugged in with other organizations that share the same heart as Kelly and Kelso. So I've been connected here in the Metroplex with the Dallas Down Syndrome Guild. And back in January, they actually purchased close to like 450 books, and they donated them to anyone who would sign up that was interested. So public schools, homeschool families, after school care. And what they did is on World Down Syndrome Day, they were able to share these kits with everybody. And then kids were able to learn about Down syndrome and learn why we were celebrating it. Why everybody had crazy socks on. That's one of the things they do on March 21st. For those that don't know, 21 is really important to Down syndrome because babies are born with 48 chromosomes, and the 21st chromosome is actually copied in children with Down syndrome. So that's why the number 21 is so important.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I would say just getting connected with other people in the community that have the same heart as you actually kind of makes your voice, louder. And it's kind of does a ripple effect because I'm only one person at the end of the day and I can only talk to so many people. So
your mission resonates so much with me, Jordan, because before I changed careers, I worked in the public education field for about 20 years. And that entire time was spent in the special education world, either teaching or moving into the administrative side. And so I think what you're doing to bring awareness is so important. I know one of the things that comes to mind was during my time that I focused a lot on preschool services, was making sure that we had, as integrated as possible, that it was just preschool, that it's for everybody. All kids are learning and developing at that time. So I think it's neat that your book kind of is geared for kids. Because that if we start early, like you said, then we can make a lot of progress. I also think it's neat as you're talking about the right place for you to be able to introduce your products, how many things right here in Wylie start coming to mind for me. For example, like we have a really neat location for adults with disabilities to continue on called Coventry Reserve. Great organization, and it's really supported by a lot of business owners around. I know our Frost Bank location just presented them with a check not too long ago to help further the great work that they're doing there. We also have, other folks that help in the area of autism. I could just see so many different opportunities for you here locally, because I think our district and the way that we do support all kids is a little bit unique. And that's even coming from somebody with a school background that I feel like I can speak to that a little bit.
I love that. It takes a very special person to not only be a teacher, which hats off to all the teachers out there, but definitely someone that works with, in the special ed department, just because the amount of paperwork and files and everything go along with it, as well as, working with the children. My mom was a special ed teacher for 30 years. And so my heart goes out to you. So.
Yeah.
Jordan, I wanted to follow up on something you said at the beginning of the show, and it really is, I think, important, is being able to bring awareness to the young kids that of the different types of people that live in our world, right? So that they're not isolated. And you said that you want them to understand the differences. But I think sometimes as we start to understand, we start to realize they're not as different as we might have thought they were.
Totally.
They're different, but it's not a vast difference. I've got my college roommate has a son with Down syndrome. He's actually going to the World Championships in Germany for Special Olympics, and I would be surprised if he doesn't win it. This kid is amazing.
Yeah.
But he was the first person with Down syndrome that I really got to know, and the heart and the compassion that comes from him. It's just, the better you get to know these people, the more you
Mhm.
realize that they're not different like you think they are.
Mm.
We have more in common than we do, different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I guess that's a better way to say it than what I did. But there
No,
are
you did great. You did great.
many commonalities, and he's a joy to be around. I mean, it's funny when his dad calls me, I'll hear him in the background. He'll yell my name and ask me what I've been doing, and it's
Mhm.
just it's hard to be in a bad mood when you're around him.
Love that. It was the same with my uncle. My uncle was so much fun, and I have all these like Facebook memories pop up, and it's just they make me tear up, but in a good way. It's because it was always good memories, you know. And one of the reasons I decided to write the Kelly and Kelso series is we would go to Target, we would go to the mall, we'd go to the theater, and I would see these kids, and they would look at Kelly, and you could always see like the question on their face, right? Like, why does he have a stuffed animal? Or why does he look that way? Or, all these questions were going through their brain, and their parents would be like, shh, and like drag them off, But I always loved it when the moms would give me an opportunity to like explain what Down syndrome is.
Mm.
And I feel like that was, looking back, kind of prepared me to be able to, speak at schools and even in my writing and explain it in such a way that it's easy for kids to understand.
Yeah.
And so I love questions. I love to do Q&As at the end because you never know what kids are going to say.
Well, they're a curious bunch, and I think the questions need to be answered. They're going to have questions, and it's not a bad thing for them to ask those questions if they've got somebody there that can answer them and explain them.
100%. And something I'm really excited about with our show is we're not just trying to tell stories about kids with special needs. We're wanting people to like connect with us, and we're wanting to hear other people's stories, because I don't want to be up here. I'm an artist, I'm a creative, so I could write stories all day long. But how much better would it be if I could tell Caitlyn's story or someone else's story, and they can say, my brother has autism, or my, sibling was born without, their left arm, and be able to hear what it was like growing up, and just things they faced and things they could have, didn't think they could accomplish and they accomplished. To be able to take that and share it in animation, I think I'm really excited about.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I saw it said Facebook user, so I'm not sure who it was, but there was a comment that popped in. There it is. So what's been amazing to me, especially, back in the Frisco show, we ran the Leadership Frisco program there. What we're talking about now, it's amazing to me how common and how just how the number of special needs folks that are out there, that obviously the misunderstanding or that shh factor, if we can, I love what you guys are doing, shining a light on it and just educating at a younger age. And I think that's a great way to start and a great way to spread that knowledge.
One of the things that I'm probably the most proud of is there was a school up in Pennsylvania, and someone actually got hold of my book through Amazon, and on World Down Syndrome Day, they had the school buy copies for all the kids in the kindergarten class. And then they did this big Great Pinewood Derby race on World Down Syndrome Day, which is what the book was about. Kelly goes to this big Great Pinewood Derby race. And what I love most about that is I didn't have to be there for it. Someone took the book, they took the message and the heart. And so we have these t-shirts that say culture builder, because that's what it is. It's building a culture of love, acceptance, kindness. And the fact that, like I said, I didn't have to be there. Jordan Burk didn't need to physically be there for this to happen. And so that's one of the things I love about community is people taking other people's, what's the word I'm looking for? Like whether it be a product or whether it be their heart, and then just sharing it with other people. Again, it's that ripple effect I was talking about earlier.
Gosh, I love that. That is so that may be the epitome of community involvement there, where you're impacting communities that are, thousands of miles away potentially. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love
it really is.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
And I love the ripple effect that it has in our community. Actually, Wylie has a lot of opportunities for special needs kids and in our area, all the different activities and things that they can participate in. We did a feature article in the Connection magazine. I think it was the last issue, but it was all about the Special Olympics and the sports opportunities that are available for the special needs kids in the Wylie area. And then B&B Movie Theater has their sensory packs for members of the audience for special needs. And we had a mom that was part of Wylie acting group, also sits on our board, has a special needs child. She saw that and said, hey, we should do that. So we found a business owner to partner with, and had someone donate some money so that we could purchase kits like that, so that special needs kids could come enjoy our theater performances as well. So they could have the headphones and the fidget toys and things like that at WAG. And then there is a another small theater group that focuses on the homeschool community called Replay Love. But she actually is able to give a lot of special needs kids opportunities to perform in her place, and she will write roles and things specifically for them and their abilities, and give them an opportunity to perform as well. And sometimes they use our theater to do their performances too. So it's just been really cool to see that ripple effect happen. So Jordan, I was so excited to hear about you and your book. I have a dear friend with a Down syndrome child, but also just I'm thinking I homeschooled my kids too, and so I have connections in the homeschool community that I could help you with, and then also again this other theater group as well that might be. I don't know what the opportunity would be, but you never know. You just make connections and introductions and have conversations and see what happens, and somehow it ends up blessing the whole community in the process.
100%, 100%.
So cool. Yeah, that's exactly why Melissa wearing these crossover hats. I mean, she can be a model for a lot of business owners that she has to delegate her time into different ways, but it's enriching our community. It's helping individuals. It's helping us all. I think there's a quote about rising tides, they raise all boats, right? And so as we work together as business owners and we support each other, but we're also growing our community to be a place where everyone can find the groups that they need and the types of supports and services that are there. And it's neat when we can kind of facilitate those introductions and then also benefit from then our community having more things and more specialty areas. I just think it's so neat.
Yeah, totally agree. And that's what this whole show is about, is connecting. So love the fact that we have multiple hat wearers. I do see a comment there Lennon put up from Marley Knapp. Need to get that book. What's the title?
Oh, yeah. So if you'll check out kellyandkelso.com, we have all our books, all our information on there. And you can even see photos of the real Kelly.
Awesome. There you go. You ask and we deliver live on the air. Well, thanks guys for those community involvement opportunities there, and obviously we talked about a lot of the benefits of that. I want to shift gears a little bit and get into what may be some challenges of getting enhancing that community involvement. Whatever, lack of time, lack of resources, lack of knowledge. Have you guys encountered that as you guys have tried to? Oh, look at that! There we go.
Yeah, there he is, the man himself.
Love that. Love it. That's awesome. Cool website too. I like that.
To speak to that specifically, kind of the challenges as we've gone through the podcast weeks, we talk a lot about the great things, and I've been kind of listening, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to share kind of the other side, what those challenges are with my business specifically cleaning. You think about it in the day-to-day, like what does my community aspect look like? What can I do? And a lot of the times, I don't know about anyone else, but you hear that voice, well, I don't really have time for that. I don't have the funds for it. I don't have these things. And it becomes so loud that sometimes you're just like, okay, well, we'll just go on about our day-to-day. But really, I've learned so much. I love hearing the encouragement from everyone too, is you really just have to do it. It's that important that you just have to do it. And whether that's like for me, when I look at it, and I'm just plugged in with my church, and on the days where I'm like, okay, I don't really know what my difference is, I remember that I'm plugged in with my church and the things that we do. And every person that like Jordan, you're like, okay, well, I have a relationship with him, Allison, like all those different people, you just say, okay, I'm going to make the difference one person at a time. And one of my favorite things that I've heard is the most important person is the person standing in front of you. And you make that difference with that exact person that you're in conversation with, giving them your full attention, because you never know the difference that one conversation can make by making them feel important, making them feel heard and special and loved, because that's what it comes down to. Is in the end, my business could disappear. Anything could be gone and we could go into a new season. But I know that the difference that I make is in those heart-to-heart connections, those conversations that I have with people. And so even when it's hard and we're like, okay, I don't have time for that, just remember you do, and every conversation that you have will make an impact. So
Totally.
I love how simple that concept is.
yeah.
And it not to be cheesy, but we're powered by the difference, right? And it's the things that make the difference in business and life. And I love that. Very simple. Focus on who's in front of you and make the difference.
Something that seems hard and just make it simple.
Yeah.
I mean, what it comes down to is love on the people in front of you, and you'll make the biggest difference. So
yeah, I love that. That's great. Anybody else on thoughts of how to, we can come up with all different excuses, and they're not really excuses because it's real, right? Time is a commitment. Money's a commitment. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on how to overcome those when it comes to getting more involved in the community?
I would say, just start where you're at. When you go to an event, I'll take a chamber event for example. Like we had a luncheon this week, and if you're there at the luncheon and you had a great time and you loved the event, stick around for an extra 5 or 10 minutes and help throw away some trash or fold a tablecloth. Just the smallest thing like that can be such a huge blessing to the organization, and the networking connections you'll make doing those things. I know Allison and I have worked together at chamber events and picking up trash and folding tablecloths or sweating out at the rodeo. Those are some of my closest friends now, and again, I was just doing what I could where I was at the time I was there. There's been plenty of times where I've been like, I don't know if I'm going to make that event or not, but if I'm there, I'll stick around for just a little bit as long as I can to help clean up or whatever, or if you can get there on the early side. But it doesn't have to be a huge grand gesture. It doesn't have to cost you thousands of dollars. Just a little bit of effort where you're at, and it can make all the difference.
100%.
That's what I was thinking, Melissa, when you said that. I was exactly like, I have a very much a go big or go home mentality. And one day I dream of getting to write a check to someone and be like, here you go, let's fund your whole operation, no strings attached. But realistically, can I do that today? No. One day, hopefully, but it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. Simply folding a tablecloth can do it. And I love that.
Yeah.
It's huge. Going to, just getting started. I think Melissa started that with start where you are. And a lot of things do kind of inner circle. You'll start to see a few people that maybe are involved in a couple of those different opportunities, whether it's the chamber or our Master Networks group. The downtown merchants have a great group that works together. Our churches, the way that, when we volunteer in different organizations, and that you'll start to see these interlocking circles coming together. I think that has really grown my connections, not only for my business, but for friendships and for my go-to people. I start to think, who could I count on to be a good support? Who's going to be at that Boots and Barbecue event? Who's going to be at that Wylie luncheon? Who's going to be here? Who's going to be there? And you start to think those are the people that show up, and those are the people that are committed to our community too. So I think you can do a whole lot by just paying attention. Go to the event, go to the Memorial Day celebration where we're, take 30 minutes and go to that ceremony where we're going to be with the VFW. Those people do important work in our community, and if you can build that in, I have a saying at my house. It's I'm not going to say that we have to be selective sometimes in our commitments, because there are so many opportunities. However, I rarely say like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. No, most of the time it's like, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad I was there. I got to see somebody I hadn't seen in a while, or, I got to have a new conversation. So very rarely it's like, oh man, I wish I hadn't gone. No, I'm glad I went.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. I've never heard anybody have a negative after getting involved in whatever event it might be. And I love some of the suggestions there, right? So keep it simple, right? Just start small. the old saying, how to eat an elephant one bite at a time, right? So just get started and get involved. I like that, Allison. Get involved with whichever group it may be. And your group, your Master Networks group, your Master Networks Wylie group is very good at that. And not only are you a model for what we're doing on this podcast, but as a group, you guys are really a good model of getting involved in the community. So kudos to you guys as a collective group. What I want to do now is shift gears. We do have to go to commercial break here. On the back end, I want to talk about some of the ways in the directions we're headed with community involvement. So want to get your thoughts on that, and then we can wrap up. I do want to make sure you guys do share how people can get in touch with you and get involved in your organizations and your initiatives that you guys are doing. So with that, Lennon, let's do commercial and we'll hit it on the back end.
The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie is made possible in part by Jenny Connolly with TC Roofing and Restoration. Trust TC to keep you leak-free. Jessica Cooper with Diesel Signs and Displays. The power of advertising. Lynn Heberly with Coldwell Banker Apex, guiding you home with heart and expertise. Megan Lunty with Brightway Insurance. If you are not insured the right way, call Brightway. And by Marissa Page with Page Restoration. When the worst happens, let our family take care of yours. The North Texas Community Difference-Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.
And now back to the show.
All right, welcome back. There we go, Christopher. Amen. Community building is a joyful experience. You are exactly right. Thanks for chiming in.
Hey, Chris. Good to see you on the chat there.
Love it. So we're getting community involvement from all our listeners here. Love it. That's great. So as I mentioned before we hit the break there, what I want to do is just touch on maybe some innovative ways you guys are getting involved in community. With I don't want to give any hints or anything, but are we using social media? Where are we headed, I guess, in the whole community involvement, and how are you guys taking advantage of that? Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I'll touch on that.
Cool.
So one of the things for me is we're involved on all platforms and social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook. And I remember at one of my pop-up shops, I think like last year, there was a mom there and she was talking to me and, sharing her story. And I'm sharing, because most people want to know about real Kelly. That's their biggest question. So we're standing there talking, and then this other mom comes up with her kids and they start visiting. And then before I know it, they're like planning a play date, and they didn't know each other prior to coming to the pop-up shop. So in my mind, I'm like, wait, how can I get all the moms in the community, and dads, all, everyone connected so that if they have a child with, say, Down syndrome or autism, they can connect with other parents that can relate to that. And so that's something, I guess, for me that I didn't really generate, but I would love to be able to figure out a way to do that in the future, especially with Kelly and Kelso.
Well, I love that aspect of it. And let me take it a step further. So how are we able to integrate those social media platforms with the community? Are there certain groups that you guys are a part of, or, how are you guys expanding that, within the community and frankly, expanding that reach, right? Like, how are you guys tapping into that?
So I'll speak up just for a second because I want to pitch this. I think that Melissa would be somebody I would go to if I were, in a business person to say, okay, I need the next level. So I think Melissa probably has a lot of good ideas.
Yeah, we utilize social media at the Chamber and at Wylie Acting Group also. So, for each production that there's a whole social media campaign that goes behind each production, and it involves all the kids in the cast and the crew. So if you follow our social media pages, we try to keep you up to date with that. We also started this year, and I'm proud mama talking. It was my kiddo that started it, but we have a junior advisory board at Wylie Acting Group now, which is is really exciting. So those it's a group of high school kids that, you know, they want leadership skills, they want to be more involved. A lot of them kind of grew up at WAG, so it was a way for them to give back. And so utilizing them and their connections has been amazing, and their ideas. I mean, they have so much to offer for the organization when you see it through a different set of eyes. Some of us older, more experienced, I'll say more experienced, you know, people on the board, you know, you kind of get in a rut sometimes of doing things the same way for so long, you know, that you forget about some of those new, fresh ideas from that younger generation's perspective. So that's been a lot of fun. I know in our last production, we have, excuse me, a new board member at Wylie Acting Group. She's younger. She's also a special education teacher, and so she wanted to do some super fun TikToks with the kids in the show. So that was great. She spent a whole evening after a rehearsal just recording these really fun TikToks with the kids. And if you go look at, you can see the joy on the kids' faces. They're giggling and cracking up the whole time. They can barely do some of the things that they want to do on the video. But that's been a way that, you know, we integrate that at the chamber. Again, it's been, you know, promoting the events, and then also posting pictures, you know, after the event. You know, here's who was there, here's what you missed, here's all the fun things. I mean, we all take a ton of selfies, which is a lot of fun. Megan Lunty and I are friends, and Megan also is one of our supporters at Wylie Acting Group with the Brightway Insurance Agency, and we giggle every time because we have like probably a bazillion selfies together at all the different events that we've done. So one of these days we're going to compile a collage of all the selfies at all the rodeos and all the luncheons and all the WAG shows and all the fun stuff that we've done. So you know, that's been kind of another way that we've done it too. We also try to make video trailers, you know, when we can for YouTube channels, because of course YouTube is the second largest search engine, you know, on the internet. If you guys didn't know that, there's a fun fact for you. Google's number one, and Google owns YouTube, so YouTube's number two. So there you go. And try to, you know, put as much content out there as we can. You know, people, when they go to your social media pages, is what they're trying to do is just get a feel for you, right? They want to know who you are, what your business is, what you do, what it's like to be involved with you, what it's like to interact with you. And so, you know, that's basically how we're using the platforms in order to enhance those two organizations.
Very cool.
That's great. Well, yeah. So I didn't want to lead the conversation because I knew we were going to go to social media, but you know, involving the youth, getting TikTok, right? Like, I don't use it, but it's certainly a huge growing platform. So good suggestions there. Love it. Okay, so we are bumping up against the end of the show, and I don't want to cut anybody short. So what I do want to do is just kind of go around the horn. And once again, just reiterate, introduce who you are, reintroduce who you are, what you do, how people can get a hold of you, and then we'll wrap the show. It's been awesome talking to you guys. So it's been just a wealth of information that you guys have shared. So thank you so much. Let's go with guests first, ladies first. So that means Melissa, you're up.
Sure. Thank you guys so much for having me today. It's been a joy to be here and to talk with you guys. My company is BlueBox Digital Agency. You can find me at blueboxdigital.com, and that's BLUBOXDIGITAL. Wylie Acting Group, you can find at WylieActingGroup.org. And then Wylie Chamber is wyliechamber.org. And again, both of those organizations are great ways to plug in and into the community just for fun, for service, and then also to promote your business as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Jordan, you're up next.
All righty. Thank y'all for having me. I'm Jordan Burk of Kelly and Kelso, and you can find out more at kellyandkelso.com. We are also, like I said, working on our cartoon. So if you would like to be an investor, help with endorsements, partnerships, you can also contact us through kellyandkelso.com. But thank you guys for having me.
Well, thank you, Jordan. Awesome. Good stuff. Allison, let's go with you next.
Sure. It's been fun to be on my first podcast here. I'm Allison Wilson. I'm a financial advisor with Community Wealth Advisors. We focus on all facets of investing and wealth planning, financial planning. Would love to chat with anybody who has any needs in that area. You can reach me at allison.wilson@raymondjames.com or 972-521-8282.
Beautiful. And last but not least, Caitlyn.
So with Elite Diamond Cleaning, we do residential, commercial, and construction. For residential and commercial, just give me a call, 9876. I'll come out for an estimate, walk through your property with you, and we'll go there, proposal and pricing. But we'd love to serve you. Use all natural cleaning supplies, and we're insured, bonded, and background checked. So we'd love to serve you.
Awesome. Thank you, Caitlyn. And thank you to everyone who was on the show today. Great stuff. And once again, you guys brought it. This Wylie group, this Master Networks Wylie group, doesn't disappoint. So if you're interested in checking them out, reach out to anyone on the show today. They can invite you to give you all the details as far as when that is. Also, if you're interested in getting involved in the Community Difference, we are starting up different chapters and different pods, we'll call them, with the Pod Connect effort that we have just recently launched over the last 2 weeks. So lots of ways to get involved, kind of as we talked about throughout the show here. But once again, guests and co-hosts, thank you for being on today. You guys have a great holiday weekend. Everybody out there, have a wonderful and safe holiday weekend, and we will see you guys next week. Take care.
Thank you for watching today's show. If you like today's show, please share, like, and subscribe, and make sure to shop, buy, and hire in Wylie. Special thanks to all the guests, co-hosts, and sponsors of the North Texas Community Difference-Wylie.
Thank you for tuning in and watching our show. If you would like to see our next show, or more shows like this one, just click the QR code and go to show schedules, or just follow and subscribe to our channels to get updates and notifications of this show, and many others like it.